Mr. Wolf.
Just a couple of points to add. I would agree with what Mr. Hibbert described. I would just add, in terms of looking at the public convenience and necessity, we have to balance costs with benefits. And so thinking about the costs, as I mentioned earlier, there's a debate around the health impacts of PM 2.5 in particular, where the power plant meets the NAAQS, and yet there's still PM 2.5 emissions in the local area. And I'm not able, I would say that the company has not demonstrated that there won't be health impacts, even despite the fact that they've met the NAAQS. And so it would be difficult for me to say that those costs aren't there based upon the evidence. And it's just another factor to weigh in and looking at the costs and the benefits. Had we had a health impact study, a local health impact study, we'd have more information to sort of, and maybe the company would have demonstrated that the health impacts are low and even acceptable, but we don't have that before us.
Other comments? I guess I'd like to say a couple of things. One is I just want to make clear, I view in the weighing of costs and benefits, the burden is on the project proponent. So here we have the obligation of the proponent to show that the benefits of this project outweigh its costs, and that's always going to be obviously a difficult, or often going to be, I think, a difficult calculus. In this case, I'm persuaded by Mr. Hibbert's reasoning that there's no real benefit to this facility. And that's persuasive to me in and of itself. Like others, I suspect, on the board, I've struggled with the question of how to weigh the EJ considerations. And I think it is difficult without further articulation by this administration at the EEA level of our EJ policy to know, frankly, exactly how to weigh them. And so EJ considerations for me in this case are in no way dispositive. And as I said, I think the lack of benefit is what is dispositive on the zoning exemptions issue. But I think additionally, the EJ considerations are, although not dispositive, certainly a disbenefit of this particular location. Also, to be clear, we're not addressing at all whether these individual exemptions or even a comprehensive exemption is required, because we don't get there because we don't think that the public convenience and welfare, as we've said, is served by this plant. So I guess that's all I really wanted to add. Mr. Coleman?
Just a question about the effect of this. Just so I'm clear, is that if we were to approve this motion, the proponent still has the choice of pursuing zoning under going through the local zoning process, and if they were approved, they could build. It's only that we're not exercising our authority to give them an exemption from those. Am I just understanding that?
Yes, that's right. I just want to add to that we've conditioned the building, however, if they choose to use potable water on further analysis.
Correct. Well, subject to all the other issues that we brought up in the previous motion.
Yeah, Mr. Gallagher.
And if I could, Madam Chair, for a follow-on to Mr. Coleman, they also have at their disposal through each of these other individual permits and processes they go through other appeal routes as well. For example, if a Conservation Commission order is not acceptable and they've gone through the process, they have an appeal route in that regard. That's and right. Similar as well.
Are there other issues?
I would just elaborate if I can, to make sure that someone doesn't interpret our our motion here as suggesting that because there's a long queue in ISO, and there may be for a long time, that one can't cite a clean natural gas plant in Massachusetts. That's not what we're saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if there were another plant that had clear benefits, whether it was relieving transmission constraints, providing peaking capacity, then there were clearly no cost or lower cost in terms of local health impacts and water, whatever, then yes, another plant could be cited. But this plant doesn't meet those requirements.
Before we take a vote on the motion, Mr. Rosenzweig, I do feel like you've had an opportunity to address us, but if you'd like to take 3 minutes on this issue, you can do that, and then we'll see if it's necessary to provide anyone else an opportunity to address us on the zoning exemption issue.
I appreciate the accommodation. I would say on behalf of Brockton Power that the decision to not grant a zoning exemption and to find no public convenience and welfare to the facility, we believe is a marked departure for the Siting Board from its prior precedent. On issues of need, the Siting Board has over the years established pretty clear precedent that they look at the window of need 4 to 6 years out from the construction window of the online date, and even as Mr. Hibbett articulated some of the numbers, within that time frame there will be need for new generation, indeed more generation than just could be supplied by the Brockton Power facility, and we think that would be an improper finding by the Siting Board and inconsistent with its precedent. I'd also add that the unique benefit standard that Mr. Hibbert articulated is not the Siting Board's standard. It's not the DPU standard for zoning exemptions. It's substantial benefits. There's never been a requirement that the benefits be unique to a particular facility or a particular use. It's just that the proposal has the opportunity and potential to offer those benefits. Not that no other facility could provide those benefits, that the benefits that the project has articulated and presented during the case are manifestly possible and likely to occur if it is permitted. It, like other facilities, has to compete in a competitive marketplace. And when the legislature restructured the electric industry in 1997 and recast some of the Siting Board's statutory mandates, it's in recognition that there will be many generators who go out and try to permit their facilities. Some will succeed, some will not. But the Siting Board's mandate is not to choose between them. It's to permit and approve those facilities that meet its standards and let the marketplace dictate which one of those get done, which one of them get financed, which one of them get power purchase agreements. And here where the facility has shown that it has met the Siting Board standards and within the window of need that's established by even the most recent regional system plan, we think we've met the public convenience and necessity requirement, and that the Siting Board is applying a new standard that was never previously articulated and is inconsistent with your mandate. So we'd ask you to reconsider that holding and to find that there is a need for this facility. There are substantial public benefits that are associated with this facility, including local jobs, tax base, and other things that we haven't even talked about before the board, but we're in the record of this proceeding. The board has not addressed those issues, and I don't think they can be ignored because they aren't readily available within the community. The city of Brockton is undergoing its own economic and market realities given what's going on in the economy. And this facility has a unique opportunity to present those benefits to the city of Brockton. And we ask for the opportunity to do so with the Siting Board's zoning exemptions. I'd also add that the individual zoning exemptions that were sought by Brockton Power were not opposed by the city of Brockton except for the site plan review during the proceeding. They're witnessed to being opposed at the building inspector, Mr. Vassapolo. So you're really going on your own motion here without even the evidence supporting that there's opposition at the Siting Board level to the local zoning exemptions that we're seeking other than site plan review, and we can discuss those on an individual basis. So having said that, we would ask the board to reconsider its motion and its potential vote here and find that there is a public convenience necessity for this facility.